We'll call this meeting of the Craven County Board of Commissioners regular session for Tuesday, January 17th, 2023 to order. Madam Clerk, if you will, please call the roll.
Commissioner Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Howard?
Present.
Commissioner Hunt?
Here.
Commissioner Mark? Commissioner Mitchell? Vice Chairman Booker?
Here.
Chairman Jones?
Here. If you will, please let's stand together as our county attorney will lead us in prayer. Please remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance afterwards.
Lord God, we humbly come before you today, and we thank you for your love and your grace and your peace that is made available to us all. God, we ask for your divine wisdom and guidance here today, for you and you alone know the future and the things that are to come. We ask that you would lead us in the decisions we are a part of and that you would give us boldness to honor you. Would you empower every man and woman in this room to use the life you have given them for good? Let us be leaders who follow your example, leaders who love sacrificially, give selflessly, and serve graciously. May we all do our best to impact this incredible county and nation of ours for the better. We ask your blessing on our commissioners, on our county, and on our United States of America. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We want to welcome each of you that are here in attendance with us this morning. Thank you for your presence. We do ask that if you have your cell phones with you that you would please make sure they are on silence. For those that may be viewing online this morning, we welcome you also and thank you for your participation. Commissioners, you have there before you your agenda. Are there any agenda items that you desire to add or pull from today's agenda? Hear none, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hear none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next is the consent agenda. You have there the minutes of the January 3rd, 2023 regular session, tax releases and refunds, the sheriff's donation budget amendment, and a health budget amendment. Are there any consent agenda items that you desire to pull? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
And a second. Discussion.
I just
Commissioner Howard.
Yes, I just wanted to make a point of clarification with our county manager, Jack Veit, that the health budget amendment would be contraceptives only and nothing else.
I'm going to refer to Mr. Harrelson since he's here. If you would, Scott. Address.
Scott, if you don't mind, come right here to the mic. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, those funds are for long-acting contraceptives through our family planning clinic, and that was the intent of those.
Any questions for the health director?
I think the concern is that it didn't include the morning after pill or something like that, right?
I think, yeah, that would be one of the concerns, yeah.
It does not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional discussion on the motion? Hear none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Howard?
Yes.
Commissioner Hunt?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Booker?
Yes.
Chairman Jones?
Yes. Thank you. On departmental matters, we have the first item is the K-9 Echo donation. We have with us Sheriff Hughes and Sergeant Rebecca Hopper. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Welcome to the new commissioners. I haven't gotten to meet yet. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. I'm here today just to discuss the donation of K-9 Echo. Back in September, we had to unfortunately retire K-9 Nibbles due to some spine issues that he was having. He was no longer able to sit and give us a good alert, which is his indication that there is illegal or narcotic odor present when we use the dogs. And because of his inability to sit any longer, that can pose, of course, if we continued, it would pose problems for the court. So we're here to address K-9 Echo, which would be K-9 Nibbles' replacement. And just to give you some idea of how busy we are with these canines, Just in 2022, our dogs took 4,284 calls for service that were directly related to canine. Also, to give some narcotics amounts that were seized, we had approximately 1.62 pounds of cocaine. We have tripled our marijuana seizures, which went from around 22 to now 63.26 pounds for the year. One thing I wanted to focus on mainly with these narcotics is fentanyl. It's 2.25 pounds, which equals around over 10,000 lives that's saved that we were able to not distribute into their hands. So that was a very good bonus for us this year, as it has become increasingly larger all over the place. So what we are just proposing is we do not need to purchase any additional equipment or cars or kennels or anything for Echo, as Nibbles has already had those things. So literally it would just be supplementing the dog, one coming in and the other one retiring.
Okay, questions from the board?
I have a quick question, and that
Yes, sir.
is, this dog is being donated to us.
By Throwaway Dogs Project.
Yes, and as have other dogs in our kennel, if you will.
Yes.
Who are the people that do this, and what's their motivation for? Because this is a valuable dog. This isn't a dog from the shelter.
Right, this dog is worth approximately $19,000. He has already had somewhat of training. Throwaway Dogs Project is an organization that like to take either rescues or they have either large canine facilities, either one, that are donated to them if the dog is able to be worked and the dog shows an interest in work. What they do is donate it to agencies who are unable to afford, or agencies that they've priorly donated. So when we began our program, we had Canine Nibbles donated by Throwaway Dogs Project, as well as Canine Bear, which is my dog that I'm working now. And because Throwaway Dogs Project had provided us Nibbles, they wanted to replace him and continue on that donation, where they see themselves that our county has put these dogs to such great use, and they're seeing the difference that they're making in our county. So they wanted to go ahead and continue that.
Thank you. So this is an organization made up of a group of people who have this as their mission. Are they just wealthy people, or do they get donations? I'm just curious, how are they funded?
They are a nonprofit, and they raise money for these dogs who they bring in to train. And people like me, well, for example, I have been able to participate with this organization, and by training some of the dogs, Pender County, Franklin County, Pamlico County, Havelock, I was able to actually help in our local area, train these dogs, and help them have the dog donated by Throwaway Dogs Project.
So if someone wanted to contribute to this effort, they could make a contribution to this organization.
Absolutely.
It's called Throwaway Dogs
Throwaway Dogs Project.
Project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
All right, additional question.
I have a question about the dogs themselves. The dogs find drugs or narcotics by smell, right? Correct?
They are trained to locate the odor of narcotics.
Okay. Do they become addicted?
They are not ingesting the odor. They are just smelling for the odor.
Okay. I was in a meeting recently, and someone said just in the room, in the presence of some of the narcotics can be addictive or detrimental to the individual. But it does not, you're saying it does not affect dogs in that way.
I'm not saying that if by chance, if we put a dog inside of a car, which we tend to lead against nowadays, typically 10, 15 years ago, you would put the dog, you would take him around the outside to search for the odor of narcotics. And then if they were to alert to the odor of narcotics, we would put them inside of the car. So what we were finding is sometimes the baggies or the items that people put them in would bust or open, and it would be on the seats or anything of that nature. So used to, we would put them inside the car, and yes, it's very...
You take measures to prevent that.
And we also have Narcan that also works the same way on dogs they are not constantly being exposed to the actual narcotic, although they could be exposed. That's why we carry that Narcan. If Narcan is not available, then we, of course, go to the emergency room immediately. But they are always protected against that, so that we do everything preventative to make sure nothing happens to them. But that's a good question.
Okay, additional questions?
Yes, sir.
I think that's all the questions we have. All right, what's the desire of the board?
I make a motion that we approve the recommendation, the donation.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the donation. I have
Second the
a
motion.
Second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. All right, thank you, Sergeant Hopper. Sheriff, you have anything to share with us this morning?
Just the importance of this K-9 program. If nothing else, we're removing the dangerous narcotics from our streets before they get into the hands of our children. And once, we're losing so many lives as it is, so anything we can do to help this cause is certainly greatly appreciated. I want to thank the board. Y'all have always been very supportive of this program, as we did not have it when I came into office, and now we have a very proactive, robust program that not only is working good here, but people are reaching out across the nation to Sergeant Hopper about how this program was formed and asking for training from our office that she, this week, is hosting at our office, where multiple agencies will come in and work with our office in regards to our K-9 operation. So we have certainly set the standard as to how it is to be done and how it's to be done properly. All these dogs have been donated, either the funds to purchase them or the dogs themselves. But the county still does fund our deputies, the operators, K-9 operators, along with a good bit of their equipment that they use. But most of the training they do and stuff is coming through donations. And where our main focus with these dogs is removing narcotics from the streets, I don't want to forget our tracking capabilities, where our dogs have located key pieces of evidence, guns, articles, that have been crucial in apprehending criminals and getting convictions of dangerous criminals where they have discarded evidence, regardless of whether that's piece of clothing that's crucial in a murder investigation, a weapon that was used in a shooting. These dogs also track, and we have also located elders that have wandered off from the different facilities. And had they not been in place and we've not been able to utilize them, I feel like in some cases we would have lost additional life. So whereas the focus most of the time is narcotics, we do place a huge emphasis on being able to locate articles and missing kids or people that wander off because they might have some type of mental condition.
Questions for the sheriff? Commissioner Howard.
No questions for him. I do have a comment, if that's okay.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I just want to thank Sergeant Hopper for being here today. Just want to make a point of personal privilege or comment. I known her for many years, and when going back to when her husband was in Iraq, and she was working tirelessly to get this degree and to get into this profession, and just watching her over the years develop into what the program that she's helped develop, it's been pretty amazing. So thank you for what you do.
Yeah, she's definitely a diamond. She has built this program from ground up. I can't tell you how important that is to us and just the services that it's provided to the citizens. So thank you for those comments.
Sheriff, I do have one question. Are you seeing an increase of drugs coming into the county? I mean, we know the southern border is wide open.
Absolutely.
So you are seeing more
Yes, sir.
come
With
through
the
Craven?
border being open, it's taking just a matter of 2 days once it crosses the border. And fentanyl is coming in at just the amount of it that is coming in. So within a couple days, it's hitting Craven County. So yeah, our seizures are going to go up, and this is a priority. But that open border is causing us a huge problem. I would have never thought I would be a border sheriff, but I am, because I'm having to deal with what's taking place at the border, and the fact that the cartels running the border, they have free flow into our country.
It's interesting. We're one county out of thousands of counties. It's going on not just here, it's going on all over our country.
Yeah, but when I talk with sheriffs from Virginia, Maryland, South Carolina, we're all experiencing the exact same thing. and really, as much as we would like to eradicate it, our job is just to make it so difficult, or this just a place where they don't want to come, because we're out there with such presence, so.
I don't understand, though. I heard someone in our federal administration saying that the border was closed and under control, so I'm
They were
puzzled.
mistaken.
Additional questions for the sheriff? If not, Sheriff Hughes, we thank you. Sergeant Harper, we appreciate what you do. Thank you both. Thank you. Next item is the Health Department, the 340B pharmacy fees. We have with us our Health Director, Mr. Scott Harrelson. Good morning again.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Having me this morning, we have some things that have already been approved by our Board of Health. It's for 340B pharmacy, and these are for self-pay patients, set fees on things such as insulin supplies, inhalers, over-the-counter nicotine products. And I would like to add that with these set dispensing fees and the low cost of the products, that they should be much less expensive than what people are paying at other venues currently.
Okay. Questions for the Health Director? All right. If not, what's the desire of the board?
I make a motion to approve the amendment.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the 340B pharmacy fees. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any further discussion on the motion? I would like to just ask you, Scott, are you seeing good participation, folks that are utilizing pharmacy now?
We are. As a matter of fact, going into the pharmacy, our daily scripts, we were projecting were about 40 a day, and our pharmacist is already doing over 80 a day. And we've sort of been in a pattern of waiting on some contracts to come through to get at that third party or insurance and Medicare population. One of them, CVS Caremark, has come through, and the other one, the second one, which is a little smaller but still very important, should be coming through any week. I won't say any day, any week now. But basically the ball's in the other party's court. And we have a pharmacy consultant working with us to set this whole thing up. He's done several of them, and he actually manages a few now out in the western part of the state. He said it just takes time. But once we get that, and we really want to do, whether it's direct mail, whether it's putting a staff member in a vehicle and delivering them, just whatever it takes. And we also have arrangements with Walmart and Walgreens for after hours or weekend where they actually hold our 340B meds, and then the individuals can go in so that the hours that we're not in operation, people can still go get their medications if they're running through us.
Thank you.
I just want to make a point for the public, and that is that this pharmacy is not for the general public. This is strictly for the clients of the health department. Correct, Scott?
Yes, sir. They have to be a patient of record of the federally qualified health center, and so that is a distinction for sure.
All right. Any additional questions? Hearing none, we do have a motion and a second to approve the pharmacy fees. Hearing no further discussion on the motion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. We appreciate you being here today. Next item we have is appointments. You have there before you the pending, the current, and upcoming. On the pending, you see there you have the Emergency Medical Services, the JCPC, and the Voluntary Agriculture District for District 6. Are there any nominations for any of those? Hearing none, we will move to current. You have one under today's agenda, the Fireman's Relief Fund. You have the applicant of Roy Darrell McCoy to fill the vacant seat that was left there by Mr. William McCoy. This is for Township 3 in Coast City. I would like to offer his name in as a nomination. Are there any additional nominations from the board? Hearing none, we will accept him by acclamation. Commissioners, you see there, we've got a long list of upcoming terms expiring in February. Many of them are fire tax commissioners, which will represent your respected districts, and also the Fireman's Relief Fund. So please take note of them, and as we will discuss them in February. Any other appointments to bring before the board today? Hearing none, we will move now to the county attorney's report. Mr. Grady.
Mr. Chairman, I have no report today.
Okay. We do have a closed session at the end of the meeting today. All right, thank you, sir. County manager's report, Mr. Vite.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, appreciate the opportunity here to be with you this morning. Just a couple quick updates. Last Wednesday, we had the Employee Service Awards. Many of you attended. What a great event to recognize our most precious asset, which is our employees here. I thought it was really neat to do 2 years at once, even though it was a longer event, but we got to see the folks that have made a commitment to Craven County. As I noted in my comments at your last meeting, we did have 2 individuals at 45 years. And that was a big statement. And I enjoyed hearing their words about what it meant to them and things they've done throughout their career. Last week, Thursday, Friday, I attended New Commissioner School with Commissioner Smith, Hunt, and Howard. We had a really great learning experience there, met with other commissioners from across the state who've been newly elected, heard from experts of the School of Government on things like budget and ethics and board policy and things like that. So well attended and lots of good information there. Also, we had last week on Thursday, and Mr. Grady, please chime in where necessary here, the county did close on the Sudan Shriner property next door. That was something we've talked about many times in open session here. We are now the owners of not only the building right across from us and the 2 parking lots, but also the waterfront lot. Lots of feedback on it, most of it good. I will tell you the question that's mostly asked is what are our plans? And what I've been saying is the things we've been talking about since we started this process is we're going to take a hard look at it and see what's in the best interest of the citizens and make that decision when the time is right. So just put that out there. And Mr. Warren's going to come up now for our last item. We're going to hand something out to you as in years past for our returning commissioners. This is the comprehensive annual financial report. For our new commissioners, this is something that we communicate with you prior to you receiving the audit presentation. So this is the document that is the basis for the audit. Goes through a lot of detail about the county's financial health, different programmatic things, gets into the business type aspects of county government. What we do is we provide this document to you in advance so you can become familiar with it. Then our auditor will come, and with that statement, I'm going to turn over to Craig and let you know the schedule.
Okay. Yes, our auditors, Thompson, Price, Scott, and Adams and Company will be coming on February 20th at that meeting to present the audit report at that time. So, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them right now, or you can kind of review the report, and they'll be in on that day, and they'll be certainly taking questions.
Questions for the finance director. Craig, did you notice anything in your review of this that stands out of concerns that they have already addressed in here?
No, sir. There were no items of concern that have not been addressed, and nothing that was so that you'll be reported on. The financial concerns we did, however, have a few findings at DSS, which would be kind of the normal things that we've had in the past.
As far as airport, we're good with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Everything is in compliance and has been submitted on time.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Craig, real quick, I know I don't want to steal anybody's thunder for February 20th. What's the current fund balance percentage of the county?
The current fund balance percentage is at 35%, which is up last year from roughly 28%. So we did have an increase this year. A good sales tax year. Another one for the books, record books.
That's normally the most frequently asked questions. What's the fund balance? This is where you establish it.
Gotcha. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
My question is for Jack regarding the property purchase. And you were talking about deciding what happens with the property. Will there be a committee formed of some sort, and will there be input from, like, the city of New Bern?
So that's up to the Board of Commissioners how you want to move forward. Whatever you guys decide, staff will provide our expertise to you on that and any help you need administratively. At this point, we're basically just going through securing the facility, making sure the Shriners get all the things that belong to them out. We're still going to work with them for a couple more months. And then at what point the board's ready to start diving into that, you let us know. Whichever way you want to go, we can go.
Thank you.
All right. Additional questions? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioners' report. We'll start with Mr. Howard, Commissioner Howard.
I don't have anything.
All right. Commissioner Smith.
I don't have anything today.
All right, Commissioner Hunt.
I do have something. Chairman, Commissioners, I have been meeting with the commander of the local disabled American veterans in Chapter 26 and the Havelock City Manager about their efforts to bring the wall that heals, a 3/4 size replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, to Havelock, November 2nd through November 5th. The city of Havelock has paid the $11,000 to have it come to Craven County, but the committee is asking for help with the rest of the funding, which is estimated to be between $40,000 to $50,000. This money is needed to support the infrastructure, not only of the wall itself, but also the 58-foot educational trailer, and to provide the needed items that the 250 volunteers will need to keep the memorial open 24 hours a day while it is here in Craven County. If you recall, the city of New Bern hosted the Wall That Heals in April of 2021. They expected 20,000 visitors, but the numbers were just under 10,000, probably due to the fact that we were still under COVID restrictions from the CDC at that time. So I believe that it is highly probable that the memorial will draw between 10,000 to 20,000 people to Craven County in November. I've reached out to veterans and other citizens in the county, not just in District 5, but all over Craven County, and asked for their opinion about having the Vietnam's moving memorial here, and I want to share some of those responses. One veteran said that he thought it was important for young Marines and sailors because they cannot go to D.C., but they can walk out of the gate and visit the replica, and he thought this was a great way to not just say that we support our Marines and our sailors here, but to do something in a big way. One citizen shared with me that when he was able to visit the wall, he had found a relative that he didn't know had served in Vietnam War and did not make it back. It was a somber time for him and his family. He believes that this would be an opportunity for others to learn and show their respect for those who made the ultimate sacrifice. One stated that veterans are all important. The way our Vietnam veterans were treated was terrible. This wall shows how they should have been honored in the first place. Other members of the community now have the chance to fix the wrong. The wrong may not have been their doing, but now we can show our fallen Vietnam veterans the respect that they deserve. And I spoke to many others. Everyone echoed many of the same thoughts about the opportunity to honor those vets while teaching our children history about one piece of why we are the greatest nation in the world. And this will also help our children understand why our military men and women do what they do. As I am sure you are all aware, Craven County has the third highest numbers of veterans in North Carolina. Because of all of these reasons, I am asking the county manager to put the request on the agenda and that this board would approve $5,000 this month and an additional $5,000 in the budget next year to put towards this project that will benefit all the citizens and the children in Craven County, as well as our friends and families in our neighboring counties of Jones, Pamlico, Carteret, Onslow, and beyond.
Okay. So your request is that it be put on the next agenda for the first meeting in February?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. Jack, you got that?
Yep.
All right, and so the board will consider it at that time. All right,
Thank you.
anything else?
Thank you. That's it.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Vice Chair Booker.
I have nothing.
Okay. I do want to, again, we've recognized Alderman Brinson before, and I've never given the opportunity. Sir, you want to come up and make a few comments? You're welcome to. Well, we thank you for your participation in these meetings and for staying informed and for your working with us. We appreciate that, sir. All right, anything else to bring before the Board of Commissioners before we go into our closed session this morning? Hearing nothing, we have a closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11A and 1 to prevent the disclosure of information that is privileged or confidential. You got anything to add, Mr. County Attorney?
No, sir, that's correct.
All right, do I have a motion that we will go into closed session?
Motion to move into closed session.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Hear none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will take about a 5 to 10 minute recess, and then we will go into closed session in this room.